Hello everyone and welcome to Makeover Monday 2021 week 25 Watch Me Viz. In this session I'm going to take you through an analysis of the data set we have this week before I end up building a final version. Probably build lots of charts along the way and hopefully you learn something. This week's data set is Stop and Search by Ethnicity in England and Wales. Let's start by having a look at the original data source. So the original data source is pretty simple. It's just a couple of line charts by different ethnicities, the stop and search rate per 1,000 people by ethnicity over time. I really like the design, very simple. Each one's its own kind of little card. The dots are, pretty easy to see. I like how the circles, when you hover and they get that little, little glow effect. It has the number in there, etc. It's good to do it per 1,000 because then all of them are comparable. They'll have the same. It makes the data comparable across the different ethnicities. Otherwise, the all value would be super high because it would add all of the other ones. So using it as a rate helps normalize all of the data. So what else? And then we have the table below, which is where the data came from. And I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and get started. So the data set itself looks like it has a couple of different years. We can see it looks like 2006-7 through 2019-20. And it looks like we have some nulls in here. I'm going to skip through. Okay, it looks like 2006, 7, and 8 are all null in a lot of places. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and filter those out from the beginning so I don't have to worry about it later. So I'm going to create a data source filter and exclude those three values. Those are going to now go away. And there we go. Now let's also look at the metadata. So I'm going to look at the aliases for the ethnicities. And you can see we have a lot more options than what is in the original visualization. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to incorporate all of these, but we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so let's hit OK. And the first thing I'm going to do is try to rebuild the original visualization. So we just want to look at time, and then maybe I'll put ethnicity on color. Oh, sorry, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to first just look at the ethnicities that are in the original. So let's see, all Asian, black, what were the other ones on there? Let's see, mixed, white, and other including Chinese. Mixed, other including Chinese, and white. And I'm just going to put the rate. And you can see that it's giving me 261. So I can tell that's a problem right away because we don't have 261. We can't 261 per 1,000 doesn't make sense, especially considering the original visualization is like in the 20s. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and I think we can leave that as it is, but I need to put ethnicity onto color. And then let's make it a line and kind of see what we get. So we can see we have 120.2 for blacks. So I can 120. You see they've got the numbers rounded here, but that's okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to split this out by, I'm going to kind of make it this little small multiples view that they have. So to do that, I'm going to create a couple of calculations. And let me just create a new calculated field. And I just have these stored. So I'm going to make that the rows. And then I'm just going to rename this one as columns. Hit OK. I'm going to make both of those discrete. And I'm going to put column on the columns and row on the rows. And then you'll see it's just a bunch of dots now. So I have to tell Tableau how to configure the visualization in order to display each one in a little box. So I'm going to edit the table calc for the columns. And in my specific dimensions, I'm going to put the ethnicity above the time and then say at the level of ethnicity. Sorry, it's hard to say. And then I could edit the table calc for the rows and do the same thing. And then at the level ethnicity. Okay, and there we have the original visualization. I could probably just put ethnicity on detail now. And we have the original, so maybe I'll align the min and the max values. And I want to do it on the field time. and then the value I want to put on there is the rate. Okay, so now we see 25.3, 10.6. So if I flip back over to the original, 25 and 7. Let's see, where's the, okay, this is my all, so something isn't quite right here. So 10.6, say 5. Okay, so there's something else going on. Let's see, so 120.2 is the, okay, and then 39. Okay, because this goes through 2019-20, and this is 2018-19. Okay, so some of them don't have, so for example, Chinese, other including Chinese, does not have 2019-20. Okay, that's what threw me off there. So if I look at all for 2018-19, I get 7, and I get 7. Okay, great. So what I would do from here is I'm going to hide the header for my columns and my rows, and I'm also going to remove them from the tooltip. These, I suspect, these don't actually look that great to me. So let's see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to maybe, oops, I didn't undo that. I'm just going to shrink the whole visualization down a bit and maybe drag them up. Okay, so now we get something a bit better. I'm actually going to turn my labels off. Let me take those off. Okay. And if I want to make it look like the original, I can just duplicate the field on the rows and make this one circles, and then make it a dual axis and synchronize. And now I have something similar to what's on the rows, or sorry, what's in the original. So something like that. And there we go. So now I would just hide the header on the right hand side. It looks, yeah, and they've got 0, 50, 100, 150. So I think that's pretty close to the original. The only difference is that they have the word all Asian black written above each one. So if I were going to do that, I'm going to start by just duplicating this sheet. I'm going to get rid of my rate per 1,000. And I'm going to have to do, I really need this field, this time field, to be continuous, but I can't make it continuous because the values are not numbers. They're just kind of these aliases. So I'm going to trick Tableau a bit. I'm going to create a new calculated field, and then maybe I'll call it start year. And I'm going to do the left of the time field and take the first 4 characters, and I'm going to wrap the whole thing in an integer. Okay, and let's make that a dimension and make it continuous. So I'm just going to drag that to the columns and move time to the detail shelf. And I'm going to change the start year to be an attribute. Okay, and then what I need to do on this start year is uncheck include 0. And there we go. So now we have the same view, but you'll notice that it's now on a continuous time series. So I'm going to remove this from the tooltip, and we can see that it all looks pretty much the same. But what I want to do now is I want to maybe put like the word for the ethnicity up here at the top. Okay. So let's see. We have how many years here? So we've got 11 years. Sorry, 11 years. So that means the 6th year would be the midpoint. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2014-15 is the midpoint. Okay. So I'm going to just type in here average if year. Let's see. No, if the start year equals 2015, then I'm just going to put in maybe the value 150 end. Okay, and I get just a dot here in the middle. Let's see, did I do that right? 1. So there's how many values here? So 11. So I'm going to go to the 6th value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it should be 2014-15. So this should say 2014. Okay, and I'm going to remove that from the, that's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to make that a dual axis and synchronize. And I need to, let's see, on the dots, okay, yes, on the mark type, I'm going to get rid of measured names. Okay, and then on the second shelf, I'm going to make this text, and I'm going to put ethnicity on the text shelf. So now we can see each of the different ethnicities. Let's go ahead and hide the header here. And then let's remove this from the tooltip. And then hide my null indicator. Okay. All right. And then what I want to do is, actually, did I even need to do it this way? Well, I'll show you a different way to do it as well. Then maybe what I could do is I could put the latest value on the underneath it, maybe the word or the ethnicity. So I'm going to create a new calculated field. So latest rate. So I'm going to say for each ethnicity, I want to get the max and then the start year. So then I want to say if year, oh gosh, start year, I think this will work, equals that. Then I want to return the rate per 1,000 end. And then I want to wrap this whole thing in a level of detail expression. Is that going to work? No, let's see. Okay, let's see what that does. I think this is not going to quite work yet, so let's put that there. And I'm probably getting nulls, right? So let's see. So if the year equals that, and then I want to do fixed on ethnicity, sum. Okay, let's try that. There we go. So 10.56, good. All right. So rate per one, latest rate, default properties, number, format, 1 decimal. And now I can format this. So, and of course, Tableau puts them in the wrong order. All right, so how can I format this? So I'll put the latest rate maybe at like, I don't know, 14 point, bold, and maybe put the ethnicity at like 11 point. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, didn't work. Oh, I think it's because, let's see. Why did that not work? Preview. What the heck? See, now it works. But why does it not work when I make it text? Oh, now it does. That's stupid. Okay, and then I want to have no tooltip on this, so I'm just going to get rid of the tooltip. Right, so then let's format this, and let's get rid of the grid lines, and maybe we could get rid of the 0 lines. We could get rid of the dividers. There we go. Okay, but now these are really squished together for me, so I'm actually going to start the axis at maybe minus 25 just to move them up a bit, and I'll make it an automatic end. And then tick marks will be every, let's see, every, what they do on the original, every 50. Okay, so that's a bit better. I wonder if I should put the line or put this mark underneath the line instead. That might be a better idea. So let me, what did I do there? Okay, there we go. So I'm going to make this, let's make this minus 25. Okay, I don't like that either. So maybe I should put my row and column dividers back in. Or I could just move the, maybe I'll move it down to like, let's see what it looks like if I make it 100. I could put measure names onto color. Let's see. Okay, that's a bit better. But I don't love it. Yeah, that's okay. Now, the other thing I was thinking is I could, it might look, so let me get rid of that. I'm going to do something similar, but this time I'm going to make it a bar chart instead. So let's make the time field here, and let's switch it to a bar. And then take that off of color. And then my bars, I'm going to get rid of the borders. And let's maybe make this go from 0 to, let's say, 1. Okay, that's better. If I make that a line, how does it look? Okay, I do think I like the bars better than the lines, though. Let me change this again and make this. Yes, that's better. Okay, so that's two options there. We could maybe make this the dark color as well. And then if I remove ethnicity from the filters, let's see, so this is any other black background. I think, let me just undo that. What are the ones that the big groupings they have in here? So ethnicity. Okay, so let's see, let's edit this again. And let's see, they have Bangladeshi, Indian, Pakistani. So, okay, so this must be all of them mixed. And then do they have other Chinese, any other? Unreported. Okay, so I need to just sort these now. So let's see, default properties, sort. And I'm going to sort them manually. And it needs to go, this is just going to take a second. So it goes Asian. Actually, I'm going to start from the bottom. So any other goes to the bottom. Any other, let's see. Okay, and then other including, let's see, where's Chinese? Okay, and then white other, white Irish, white British. Okay, and then mixed other. Okay, so that should go white and black Caribbean, and then white and black African, white. Okay, so that's good. And then black other, black Caribbean. Okay, so all right. And then we have Asian other, Pakistani. Arab, no, Asian, Bangladeshi, Indian, Pakistani, Asian other. Okay, so Asian needs to go up, and the other needs to go down. Okay, what am I left with now? So all needs to go to the top. And then, do they not have, okay, so I'll move, they don't list that there. Okay, so let me move that up, and I'll put Arab second, alphabetically. And then what else do we have down here at the bottom? Other Chinese, any other ethnic group, Gypsy. Okay, so let's try it like that. So now you can see them all sorted. I need to undo my axis there. And then let's make this maybe. Okay. So we have something like that. Not super helpful. Okay, so that doesn't really tell me anything. All right, what else can we do? So let's see. Let's look at the time, and let's look at ethnicity, and let's put rate per thousand onto color. And we can see any other black background is the looks like the highest. So if I were going to, let's see, I would make this look like a light border. I'm going to get rid of maybe these three. And probably the other. Okay. And we get something like that. Wonder what color palette I could use, because I want to make sure that it goes from like low to high. Maybe, I wonder if this one, what would this do? If I reverse it. Okay, I think the heat map works, this works pretty well. Where was that one? How about this one? That's too bright. Okay. Okay, let's stick with magma. Okay, so the heat map looks pretty good. All right. What else could we do? I'm already running short on ideas. Okay. All right. So is there any link to view that blog? Can I please share it? Okay. Yeah, I can include the trellis calculations on the in the description, but I also have a video. You can find it on my blog. I'll try to remember to post a link to it, but if you just search on my YouTube channel, you should be able to find it. If you just search like trellis chart, you should see it. Okay. Let's see, what other visualizations? All right, so let me go to my little cheat sheet and see what we could do here. Okay, so if you search by function, I'm going to do, okay, so let's look at comparisons. So we got bar chart. Okay, let's try population versus number of stops by ethnicity. And the population should, let's make that an average, and let's make the average number of stops an average. And we can see all white British. Okay. So that doesn't help us very much. If I put year time onto color, maybe. So all, yeah, it doesn't really help me very much. Okay, so the scatter plot doesn't work. Yeah, doesn't work. And so I'm going to mark that one as, and I'm going to put that one in red since it doesn't work. This one's a potential one, so I'll maybe make that one green. Bullet graph, histogram, line graph we did, but I wonder, maybe instead of a line graph, we could do maybe a bump chart. So let's look at time and the rate per 1,000. And let's put ethnicity. I think what I'm going to do actually is, just for now, I'm just going to move, just to make this easier, I'm going to move ethnicity to the rows. And then I'm going to create a group for all of these, or maybe just create a set. So this would be, let's get rid of time, and this would be my main ethnicities. And all I'm doing is I'm just making this ethnicities, I think that's right. All I want to do is make it easier to filter here. So, and then let's put ethnicities onto detail, make it a line. Okay, and now we could make this a rank. And then we want to compute it using each ethnicity. Let's edit the axis and reverse it. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to actually multiply this by 1.0. And the reason I'm going to do that is now when I can start the axis at, let's see, I could start the axis at maybe 0.75 and go to 6.25. There we go. So now we have, let me put the ethnicity on color so we can see it a bit better. So this is just the rank, so it's not all that helpful. Let me change the axis again. Let's get rid of the main ethnicities. And what were those other ones that I filtered out? Let's see, so time, ethnicity, and there were some, okay, so Arab doesn't have many. Other, Gypsy, other, unreported. So what I'm going to do for these is I'm going to create a set, and let's get rid of that. So these are ethnicities to exclude. And I'm going to make that an exclude set. All right, so if I put that onto the filters, I have one null here because of other including Chinese does not have data for 2020. So let's hide that. So this isn't too bad. What I would probably do is let's move that to color, and let's show the highlighter. So now when I pick one, you can see it get highlighted here. Okay. So that shows us a nice little rank. So I'm actually going to turn this into a parameter action. So let's create a, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's create a parameter. And string all, that's fine. We can make it all. And what I want to say here is let's call this ethnicity. Why can I not spell that? Ethnicity selected. And I'm going to say ethnicity equals the parameter. And I'm going to put that on the color. And now I need to make sure that doesn't mess up my table calculation. So ethnicity. Okay. Okay, so that should work now. So let me remove that. And now let's set up a, which one is this? All is 14. Let me try to take this back off. I just want to make sure that it's the right one. Okay, all is 14. All right. Oops. Okay, we want that to always be in the front. And then let's edit the colors. Let's maybe make it red. And I'll make it maybe a light gray. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'll use the Watch Me Viz colors. So let's make it the orangish color and maybe like a steel color. Okay, there we go. So now we can see the two of them together. And let's see, let's set up an action. So let's call this update ethnicity parameter. Field is, let's see, with ethnicity, keep the current value, hit OK. So now when I click on one, it moves the value. Okay, does it mess anything else up? Nope, that looks good. So I need to then create another one. Let's call this dummy. And we'll put in here dummy. And this is going to be, how the heck did I spell dummy like that? And I'm going to put that on detail. And I'm going to exclude it from the tooltip. So now this is, I'm going to use this as a as an action to make it de-highlight. So you see when I click something, everything else, this line gets highlighted and everything else gets de-highlighted. I want to get rid of that so that when I click it, it just goes to that view there. So I need to set up another action. And this is going to be my my de-highlight filter. And this is going to be, what sheet am I on? Sheet 6. And on select, single select only, show all values. That doesn't really matter. And then in my filter, I just need to have dummy go to something else, like maybe time. And now when I click on something, it just makes it change the color and it removes that highlight for you automatically. Okay, so let me remove the colors. So I like that. And what does my tooltip look like now? So rank. So I could save this. This would be my rank. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then the rank, I'm going to set the default number format to be 0 decimals. So the reason I multiplied it by 1.0 is because I can set the scale. I can get rid of this 0 at the beginning. So if I edit my axis and I set the start to be maybe like, I don't know, 0.25, doesn't really matter, and make it an automatic end, you'll see I no longer see that value. So and then let me edit the axis again. And tick marks, none, or not fixed. We want to start at 1, and we want to go every 2. There we go. So something like that. All right. Okay, so I like that. So this is our bump chart. And I like that one, so I'm going to color that one green. And I better save, because if you've been watching the last couple of weeks, Tableau's been crashing on me, which isn't very fun. So this is 2021 week 25. Stop and search in England and Wales. Okay, but what the downfall of this chart, so let me just duplicate this and show you a problem with this. So if I change this just to the right, you can see how any other black is much, much higher than the other ones, where in the bump chart, you don't really see that. So I'm going to create another calculated field. This is going to be what's called a parallel coordinates chart. So I'm going to create a new calculated field, and this is going to be my parallel. I have to try to remember how to do this. And this is going to be my rate per thousand minus the window min of my rate per thousand. So that's taking the value of the mark, subtracting it from the bottom one, and then I'm going to divide that by the window max of the rate per thousand minus the window min. Geez, oh man. Window min rate per thousand. Okay, so again, what this is doing, let me just move these out of the way here. This is saying take the value of the mark. So in this case, it's looking at, let me move this out of the way. So it's looking at 205.5. It's subtracting from that the smallest value, which is 12.6. So and then this part is saying, okay, take that value and divide it by the largest minus the smallest. So if you're looking at the top value, you're going to be at 100%. If you're at the bottom value, you're going to be 0%, and everything else will be scaled. So I know that may have been a quick explanation, but there's also a video for that on my channel as well. So we want to do this for every time. Okay. Is that right? Okay, so this is going to be always any other black background. Okay, let me try it for just the main ethnicities. And you can see here, oops, so that went back a sheet. Oh, I need to go back here and change my action. What's going to have happened here with my let's say wrong one. With my D highlight, it's now automatically checked this other sheet, so I don't want it to do that. Okay, so this is, but the thing about this one is it now shows the rate very well, the how much. So let's see. So if I click on that one, yeah. So you can see how much higher the range is for blacks versus all the other ethnicities. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take time and move it to detail. And I'm going to take my start year and put that on columns. And then let's edit our table calc. And let's also, we want to do, is that right? Okay, let's just make this, I think I need to make this an attribute. Come on. Okay, there we go. And let's remove that from the tooltip. And then the parallel coordinates value I can remove from the tooltip. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, if this works correctly, what I want to do is, let me try this. Let me duplicate this. And then, okay, let me change this again. And on this shelf, I want the line to be through the ethnicities. And then I want to take that, put that on D10. No, let's just take that off the view. Okay, there we go. So now I have a line for each of those. I can make them really thin. And what's going on here at the bottom? I think I can get rid of time. Nope, I need time on there because it's going to mess up the view. I can get rid of that, and I can get rid of the dummy. Okay, the line looks a bit weird. Okay, there we go. I can see some weird, like, I don't know if you can see that on your screen, but right here, there's some weird, like, grayness or something. Maybe I could also do a reference distribution band for the start year for the table. And I want to show the lines. And I don't want to have a fill. And then in here, I want to do of, let's see, constant. Okay, so that's not going to work. Okay, that's fine. Let me just go back. This is where the unlimited undo is fantastic. Okay, so let's make this a dual axis and synchronize. And then I'm going to move those to the back. Okay, so now we've got these nice little lines here. And I'm going to make those very, very faint. So the idea here is just to kind of have them as like lines that sort of guide the eye up and down the view. So let's format, and I'm going to get rid of my grid lines. Okay, there you go. So now you can see those a bit better. And what I want to do is at the minimum value, I want to go ahead and add no, what good is that doing me? This is not doing me any good. Let me just get rid of that. Okay, forget it. So this is my parallel coordinates. And yeah, so the good thing about this is that it helps you show the range of the data. I think I probably could, let me put time here and get rid of that. There we go, so that's better. And we can see going across the view, the different ethnicities. So the value, again, the value of this is to see how much larger black is versus all of the others. Hopefully that makes sense. Whereas a bump chart, you see black as the highest, or any other black is the highest rank. Let me just show you again what this one would do if it's just a bump chart. Main ethnicities. So you can see here, these are just ranked, where here you can see the difference between them, the relative difference between them. Okay, so I'm still not sure which one I like better. Okay, but anyway, let me go back to my chart list here. Population multi-radar chart, stacked bar graph, radial span, okay, without an axis. Okay, so none of those. So comparisons. Let's look at, okay, proportions. No. Parts to whole, concepts, distribution, data over time, the range. Oh, come on. Oh, shoot. What did I just do there? All right. Search by function. Here we go. Data over time. There we go. Okay, so we got candlestick, a Gantt. So candlestick won't work. Gantt. I wonder if a box plot would work. Let's just try it. So let's clear the sheet. Ethnicities to exclude. And let's look at the time. Let's put the rate per thousand. Make them circles. And put the ethnicity onto detail. Okay. And let's put a box plot on here. And let's format my whiskers. I'm just going to put I like just having the lines for the whiskers. Okay. Let me just flip it around. All right. So what does that tell me? This tells me that the median is going down, now it's coming back. So okay, but maybe I should try, instead of the rate, maybe this should be number of stop and search. Then I probably should get rid of the all option. And then this is white, black, white British. Okay. So the number, yeah, but this is population based, right? So that's why you would want to use the rate per thousand, because it needs to not be population based. Or sorry, it does need to be population based to normalize the data. Okay, so any other black backgrounds, so you can see all of these are outliers. So maybe what I'll do is I'm going to create a group, and let's call this Black Ethnicity. And I'm going to just group together any other black background. Am I missing any others? Let's group that. And then other, and I'm going to put that on color. And this is interesting. So now we see all of the black ethnicities are outside, are above the upper whisker. Okay. So they're all kind of outliers. That's not good. But how can I make that a bit more obvious? Okay. So again, if I look at time, and let's look at black rate. This would be if, let's see, black ethnicity. Then I want to return my rate. Okay, so this should give me just the okay, no, I'm going to put ethnicity here. Okay, and then I want to compare that to the all. So let's see, all right. So if ethnicity equals all, then rate. And so what you're going to see here, I'll show you what's going to happen here. So this is going to come up with nothing. It's going to come up as nulls. And that's because I filtered to my filters, it just says that I just filter my black ethnicity. So I need this to come back as a level of detail expression. So I want to say, so fixed on year, or sorry, not year, on time. I want to say the sum of that. Yeah, so there's the rate for all. You can see, so this one is 2526, 2526, so that value is the same everywhere. So I'm going to move that to detail, and I'm going to add that as a as a reference line for each cell. So I want to make the all rate, and let's just make it a, okay. So this shows you that, let me switch these around. Okay, that doesn't really look very good. So this shows you that for every ethnicity, every black ethnicity is way higher than the overall stop and search rate. Okay, so that's okay. So let's duplicate that, and what I want to look at now is the variance between the two, or what I could do. Let's create a new calculated field. Let's call it black versus all, and I want to do the all minus the black, and I'm going to change this to be a Gantt bar, and I'm going to put the black versus all onto size. And if I flip that around, you should see now this is the difference between the black and the all. So it's like a floating bar chart. So if I, oops, what happened there? Oh, I still have my action applied. So then I need to get rid of the well, anyway, come back to that later. So if I look at just that, so this shows me the variance between the blacks and then the average of everybody. I don't know if that makes sense or not. It's very hard for me to communicate, so I think it's kind of like a candlestick, but not really. So that makes it a bit hard for me to communicate. So I think that's probably not a good way to do it. So okay, so let's look at time series again. Oh no, that's the we want to search by okay data over time. So area, bubble, line graph, high, low, spiral. Okay, I think let's see. So the heat map works well. So how many marks do I have here? This is 21. So this should be, oops. This is 21 rows. Okay, so that matches up. So I wonder if there's a way for me to combine these two. So this one I don't like. What I could do, maybe I'm going to fix these. Okay, so what I'm thinking is if I let me just try to mock this. So I've got that. I've got my heat map. Okay. Better save again just in case. So let me, come on. So dashboard. Okay, and then I want to put my bump chart. And what I'm thinking is if I put the heat map below that, and let me hide the title, but when I click on, yeah, so in my heat map, I want to ethnicity selected. I just want that to be true. So I can get rid of that. Okay. So now, let's see, so let's hide the title. And let's make this, let's go to worksheet actions, and I need to switch this action to be a dashboard action. So it's going to go from the bump chart that, so I click OK. All right. All right, so when I click on one of these, okay, so that's still highlighting, so I need to add on my other action. Filter, dummy filter. And then target sheet is my bump chart. Okay. So go here. I'm going to make this a bit taller. Oh, no, not. Okay. Okay. So now if I click on one of these, it'll update the chart with the amount. So if I click up here, okay. So I think I do need my color legend back in there. So let me put, okay, so then this sheet, oops, that didn't do anything. Dashboard actions. What did that do? So this shouldn't do anything. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to put a container up here and move my title into that container. And then on this sheet, I want to show the filter rate per 1,000 there. Oh, no, that's not it, not the filter. I want to show the legends, color legend. Okay. All right, so rate per 1,000. The trouble now, so let's edit this axis. And let's get rid of the title. Okay, so let me save again. So the trouble now is I need to allow them to somehow pick an ethnicity. So maybe what I need to do is put the ethnicity on the end of the line here. I don't think that's going to work because now the text goes too far out. Crud. Okay, but maybe I could put it at the beginning. The line ends. Let's put it at the start. Okay, let's undo. Okay. Okay. So now if I label these, and let me put the label to the left. No, I want to do centered, but I want to do it below. Damn it. Why is it rotating the label? Okay, so now I want this to go bottom. There we go. Something like that. And then I could put the ethnicity selected on color. And then the circle, so font, match mark color. So maybe make it 8 point. Okay, so now you should have a, it's still not great, but I think it's a better idea of which one you're clicking on. Okay, so let's make the dashboard more narrow. Okay, and let's, there we go. Okay, let's format this view. And let's get rid of the, we don't need the lines going across the view. Okay. So maybe what I could do then is on these lines, I could maybe put the rank onto the label. And let's just put it on the line ends just at the start. Let's match the mark color, make it 8 point. Tableau medium. And I want the label to be left and center. There we go. So then I can hide the header here. And okay, so the rate per 1,000 has to be on detail because I want that in my tooltip. Okay, so now let me format my tooltips. So ethnicity. Okay, but should my rank be the other way? Yeah. That's probably good enough. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, and then my heat map. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. Okay. 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 I don't love it, but it'll have to do because I have stuff I need to do. So let's do. So I don't want this to have the 0 and the 20s. So heat map, let's format. And the axis going to be number, nope. Ugh, I don't like this hole. I'm thinking this might be better just to have as a, because this looks really, really busy. Okay, maybe if I make it taller to see this sheet. Let's fix the height of that. And then okay, it doesn't quite fit. Okay. I'm just making it look a bit nicer now. Okay. Okay, so let's add a bit of padding. Okay, padding. Okay. Angelina, can we get this data set for practice? Yes, Angelina, it is on the Makeover Monday website. So go on there and you can find the data set. Okay, I think I'm probably going to have to stop there. Let me save again. And come on. can you get this TWBX file? Yes, you'll be able to get it from my Tableau Public when I'm done. So let's delete the layout. After I publish it, you should be able to get it. Okay, so what does that look like now? Okay. I think I'm going to change the color of this line. I think I'm just going to make it just a solid color. Chart. Let's make this maybe my dark green. Oh, this text. I'm just trying to get this text to go in the background, but it doesn't look like it wants to do that. That's fine. Okay, so now if you click on one, it should update that. It updates the chart at the bottom, but maybe this should now use a different color palette. So maybe this should use my Makeover Monday sequential. This way the colors match up. What the heck happened here? Okay, and maybe green isn't the best color there. I'll play around with these colors a bit, but this is kind of all I could come up with. This is not the easiest data set in the world, so hopefully you found it useful. Let me just look through the questions real quick. I don't think there's any questions that Eva didn't answer. Okay. All right. And I think that's it. So there's a couple things I need to remember to make notes of. So I need to put in the link to Trellis blog or Trellis video. So these are things I'm going to stick in the description. Link to Viz. What was the other one? Somebody else had something in here. Link to data set. And what was the other question? Somebody else had a question in here. Can we get the data set? All right. The trellis. Can you see? We can. Okay. I think those are the only other questions. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. The only thing that I think really needs to happen is I want to use a different color palette, but you know, to go monotone would probably be good. But the only problem that I see with that is that if I use a white to black color palette, then that might have a bad connotation that it connotates that black is bad, which I don't want it to. I don't want it to come off that way. So maybe if I use purple, what if I try that? Let me try purple. And let's copy that. Maybe I'll just try purple. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that's, I wonder if I can color these lines though by the, so let's put that on detail. And if I color the line by the rate per 1,000. So it's going to color all of the lines. Okay. default properties color, and I want my default color to be this purple palette. Okay, but what I want to do is I only want to color the one that I choose. Okay, so let's just call this color or line color, and I'm going to say if the, let's see, ethnicity selected, then I want to get the rate per 1,000 population. Okay, and let's default properties color, and let's make that the purple advanced. Maybe I'll just leave it like that, but then I'll color. But then I would want the rest of them to go, because I think that now washes the rest of them out too much. Okay, I just totally overthought that. Right. Okay. So I think that'll do it. I'm still not quite sure what this heat map is really telling me at the bottom, but so let's edit the height. Let's make it maybe 70. Yeah, all that's supposed to be telling me is the I wonder if I move this up above this one, and then maybe that's a bit better. Okay, so analysis, table layout, advanced, and I think apply. There we go. So now I can move the years up to the top. Yeah, maybe this is better. Okay, yeah, I think I like that better. I'm not sure what to do with this color or this line, but I can't really think of much else to do. So I think I'll probably just leave it. At least you can see kind of, which gender or which ethnicity to click on. It highlights that, and then it changes the chart at the top. Yeah, something like that. But I think, again, these all become very washed out, though. So I think I need to switch the color palette back to the magma. And now if I click one, yeah, I think that makes it stand out a bit more. So where was the one that yeah, I think that's better. Okay, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you found it useful. I know it was a lot to cover. It took me a long while to find anything interesting there, but thanks for the comments during the viz, and I will post a bunch of links in the description. If you found it useful, please give me a thumbs up on please like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I post videos usually once a week for tips, and then once a week I do the Watch Me Viz. And that's it. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Bye.